backed by the funds. Indeed. We've got a situation now where you've got nearly 1 million young people unemployed on the dole. We've had education pulled away from literally thousands of working class kids who now, with the slashing of VMA and the trebling of tuition fees, can't go into higher education as a way of getting themselves out of the situation they're facing at the moment. And we've yet really to see the devastation that the Condemned government's planned cuts to public services will have, not only on the services that young people rely on, but also on the jobs that young people then go into in the public services. Personally, I've been unemployed since I left college, a year and a half ago, where I've had one temporary job in between those times, and there's absolutely nothing out there for me. I live in Hull, which has got the highest youth unemployment of anywhere in the country, and the plight that I'm facing is shared by my friends. We're also the capital of we've got a lot of young people living in poverty, and it's the capital of teenage pregnancies. And from my peer group in school, I can see the effects that the society that people have grown up in has had. We joke about it a little bit with some of my friends, but the amount of people I know who by the time they're 20 were mothers or fathers of 1, 2 or even 3 children. There's no way to live your life as they're forced to have children in order to get money in to survive, benefits of that sparse in order to provide for people. And then the other thing that's not really been talked about on this march was worth mentioning is the amount of people I know in my school year have been forced into the army, where they are nothing more than cannon fodder for imperialistic wars. The plight of young people in Hull is not an isolated incident, though. I'm sure every marcher has got stories similar from where they're from, and I'm sure the people in attendance today will know people who have gone through similar problems that I've talked about, and other issues as well. And that's why we demand, very simple demands, 5 demands. For housing, to bring construction workers back into work, to ease the council house waiting list of 5 million. For all youth services to be reopened, for connections and youth clubs and numerous other services reopened to allow young people to take part in society, and for all staff to be re-employed. For benefits, for an end to the workfare schemes where we're literally slaves to big business companies who are making billions in profits at the expenses of young people who are being forced to work for their meagre benefits of £50, £60 a week. It's an absolute disgrace. For education, free education for all, and to give people a chance to go into education, for the reinstatement of the MA, not just for the poorest, but to all 16 and 19-year-olds, and for the scrapping of tuition fees, and the living grant as well, to allow people to go to university without being saddled by debt, which is what people are facing now, and for jobs, for a mass job creation and training schemes, with apprenticeships, with a guaranteed job at the end of it, on trade union agreed rates of pay. We will not be used to undercut those who are currently in work. We will not be divided by the condemned into a workers versus young people situation. These demands are not unreasonable, despite the fact that today me and Paul were on Sky News, and we heard Chris Grayling, his response, where he said we've got to deal with the deficit. But why don't you deal with the FTSE 100 directors who have increased their pay by 50%? Why don't you do something about the 7.1 billion given to the bankers in bonuses, despite the fact that they caused this crisis? And why don't you do something instead of giving 75 billion to the same bankers and actually invest in young people? The support we've had on the march has been absolutely superb. We had people crying in Jarrow as they saw young people taking action in memory of the original march. And we've seen financial support that's been absolutely amazing. Somebody stopped off out their car and gave £100, didn't leave a name and left straight away. We've also had political support for our demands completely. Agreement with the demands, but also the programme that we put forward. In a meeting that I attended in Lincoln, where 2 Labour councillors were there, and we said, no cuts at all, we will not pay for this crisis. And when challenged, they didn't have any answers at all. And I had a unison steward come up to me afterwards and say, the Labour Party's finished, do we agree with your call for a new workers' party and for a party that will represent working class people? Really, what the march has done is it's questioned the capitalist system. We don't want much. We want decent jobs. We want decent houses. We want healthcare if we're sick. We want the right to be able to retire in dignity at a reasonable age on a decent pension. And what we've said all along is if capitalism can't afford this, it's been repeated up and down the country by the marchers and the people who have come out to support us, then we can't afford capitalism. As we look to take the momentum from the march forward into the struggles ahead, it's November the 30th and future battles that lie in front of us. When we say we will not be a lost generation and we will fight for a future, I don't think there's any doubt that that future is a socialist society based on the 99% instead of the 1% like there is nowadays. Thank you very much.